Welcome to the Middle Sisters, where we dive into the middle of everything. I'm Afton.
I'm Mitzi.
And today is a warm, sunny day in Phoenix, Arizona. It's Thursday, March 27th, 2026.
Goodness. What happened in March?
I know, and we've been on hiatus for a couple weeks, but we're looking outside at the yellow Palo Verde blossoms on the trees and dealing with some warm weather here in Phoenix.
Well, I've had a cough for a few weeks. You think it's allergies? I think it's some deep cough.
Well, it is starting to get deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you need a little Z-Pack or something like that.
Yeah, I've been taking Mucinex and cough drops, but it's still lingering.
So we take Lucky for a walk, and there's just like so many yellow blossoms on the concrete and the sidewalk and the rain gutter, and that's the thing I hate about the spring.
Yeah.
And we usually have this in April, not in March. So
yeah, it's early.
We've hit it. Did we hit 100?
I think so.
We hit 100 last week. Now we're in the 90s. We're gonna have a few 80s, 70s days, but summer's here.
Yep.
So, what's been going on with you, Mitzi?
Well, I was put in jail.
Well, we got to backtrack.
Yeah.
A little bit. You had a horrific experience in the prison system in Mesa.
Yeah.
That took you to Florence, which is a totally different county.
Yeah. I was shackled and everything.
So let's go back. What was leading to this?
Okay.
You live with mom and dad.
Okay, well let's touch into childhood a little bit and where this anger comes from. I think it's exhaustion. It's exhaustion from dealing with our father's mental problems.
Well, we talked about how dad is a narcissist.
Yeah.
And the world revolves around him and he does nothing wrong.
Yeah, he wants to be seen as a god. We got to massage his ego. We got to live in his reality. If you tell him anything that he's actually done wrong, he has a conniption fit. And then starts lambasting you and your kids. And so, before that, even like childhood, like I was just used to scratch his head and rub his feet and get him a toothpick and get him a Coke and make him popcorn. Like, I wasn't a person to him. I think we'll have different variables. Like, you older three were taken to
movies. Inappropriate adult movies,
yeah.
rated R.
And I saw some stuff, too, of, like a woman being raped back in junior high and stuff that was traumatizing that I still remember.
Yeah, I don't remember when I saw About Last Night with Demi Moore and Rob Lowe, but that has burned into my memory. I was watching this in the movie theater, and my brother and sister on both sides of me, and then dad's on the other side of Rob, and I'm like looking at all of them like, should we be here? Should we be watching this?
Yeah.
I don't think we should be here. So we were just exposed to a lot.
Well, because instead of dad taking out his wife, he took out the older three.
Yes.
So you went out to movies. He gave you wine coolers.
Yeah, in junior high.
At young ages. So we have this experience. I know Jill and Debbie have experienced given wine coolers at a young age or porn playing, so they didn't want to leave
on the TV,
room.
Yeah.
So that's pretty messed up.
Well, but we're in our 50s now and realizing, this was abnormal.
Well,
this is not normal.
We've known that it's abnormal, but I think we thought, I don't know. It's phase. We don't have to bring up, like a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to bring up sort of traumatic stuff and live in it. And I think we would all be cool if he didn't make us live in it still.
Like constant today.
Yes.
So we've watched TV with dad, and he always comment on the looks of a woman's body.
Yeah.
Or face. Or
well,
whatever,
I also, teenage years, it felt like grooming when if there's Animal Planet on and there's a male going after a female and just taking her, he would be like, see, that's just how men are. And he'd beat it in my head that all men cheat. And he claimed to have this sexual addiction all the time. And so, there's just been a lot of disturbing things that he has said that we've dealt with. You know, I even didn't want Mom to remarry him this last time.
So let's back up for the audience. Mom and Dad were married 25 years.
Yep.
Dad had multiple affairs on Mom. She still loved him, wanted to stay with him. Mm-hmm. And then when they finally divorced, Dad married 2 other women. Mm-hmm. So I always joke, Dad was married to a Mormon, a Catholic, and a Baptist.
Yeah.
So it's like a joke. But I don't know, like, if he couldn't change his own ways. And these religious women were like, I can't help you.
Right.
But he
became an alcoholic when he was married to Terry. And did drugs and does prescription
So Mom
drugs.
never knew the alcoholic Dad, right? So
Well,
she
did he
marries
hide
him.
that? He hid that from her, but this last time?
I don't think she ever knew that he would get drunk and badmouth her and her religion. So her mom is a very religious person.
Well, he's always badmouthed her religion, whether he was drunk or not, though.
Yeah, but to the point where you're saying, like, pedophilic things about people in her church, like look at your church, look at those leaders, like, you know. And so she would have to say, stop bad mouthing the people that I go to church with,
right?
And
well, he badmouths everybody. I mean, we grew up with him saying his parents didn't love him, or his older brother was abusive, or, you know, he wasn't loved, and then he'd go to his family and tell him how abusive Mom was. And it's just been a constant. He's pinned us kids against each other. He's lied. He's flat out lied to people about stuff I've not done. Like people I've slept with and stuff that I did not do. And so, you know, and you can tell. You can feel that from people when people are looking down upon you or looking at you like you're a bad person. So you live in shame when you don't really know why you're being treated that way. It's very traumatizing.
You know, is it a scripture or saying, misery loves company?
Yeah.
So, and I think that Dad wanted buddies. He wanted drinking buddies. He wanted people to, you know.
Oh, he claims all his kids are way worse than him, which is impossible.
So,
with all the stories that we know about everybody, he's constantly trying to sell that.
So we've had 4 of our siblings, you included, that have had physical altercations with our dad in their adult lives.
Yeah.
So as adults. So here, telling your story.
Well, real quick, I mean, even though you didn't have a physical altercation, I mean, you wanted to say the time you even, like, lost it, slammed your hand down, and was like, why are you saying this to me?
Oh, yeah. So
I don't know if you want to share that.
I could have gotten physical because, you know, when someone pushes you and pushes you and pushes you. But my husband was sick. My father kept counseling. If you have an affair on him, no one would blame you. It's okay, physical.
And that makes you feel
intimacy is important in a marriage. And if you're not able to have this physical intimacy, go find it somewhere else. I said, Dad, no, that's not the daughter you raised. You don't know the daughter you raised. And so it was Grandma's funeral, his mother's funeral. And we were all sitting outside, and I slammed my hand on the table, and I said, stop it. I'm not going to do that. You don't know the daughter you've raised.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to cheat on my husband who's sick.
No, because he wants everybody to be awful like him. And if you're not, he'll just lie about you and say that you are. That's the torment of it.
So this week, you had your kids come out to visit.
Well,
they're in their 20s, so they're like just on their own. And then they came out to Grandma and Grandpa's to visit with you.
Yeah. And you know, Claire had been through stuff, and she wasn't like the happiest. And of course, I didn't raise her to have to massage his ego. Like a lot of us, we were raised to be like, happy for him and just brush whatever he says under the rug and just deal with it.
So Claire and Mom were having a religious discussion?
Well, no, we were outside. Ethan was fixing the sprinkler. Once he's done, Mom came out and gave him a little like church lesson.
And that's what they've done their whole lives, right? Mom's always given
and
a little devotional.
They love their grandmother and are respectful to her. Even if I've gone like, okay, Mom, like even Ethan will give me a look, like be respectful. Yeah. Because she's all about what's good and right and just being good to people. So, so she finished it, and of course that gets Dad on edge, and we're inside, and Mom's talking more, wanting to know if, what Ethan believes in God or Jesus or whatever. And Claire's been more spiritual. I mean, her boyfriend's Christian and goes to church all the time.
Yeah.
And so Dad starts, being disrespect, jumping in the conversation that he doesn't need to be a part of.
Because he doesn't believe any of that, so he wouldn't.
Right, but we
say
all
anything
know Mom
positive.
believes in it, and she has the right to talk to her grandkids about it. They have no problem with her. Like, they don't like to see their grandmother beaten down and silenced. So Clara, of course, being the tough girl she is, she's like, you don't need to worry about it, bro. Like, being like, dude, what is your, like, stay out of it. Because everyone's tired. Everybody's so tired of the years and years of feeling like we all got to protect Mom. So, and I don't know, I was going to jump back to Wendy's fight. Before I even got into my fight with him, I was going to go to Wendy's and Rob's real quick.
Yeah, so we're talking 16 years ago, Wendy and Dad had a
Wendy was living there, and, but, like, I would never want to live there. It's just my circumstances turned out not the way I had planned. And I thought that I can go there in this old age, and we help each other out. And I was helping around the house, or dishes, or running
cooking,
him to
driving for him, because Mom's 82.
Yeah, and I was going to the grocery store with Mom all the time, and Mom and I have a great time. And so I thought it was fine, but I can't take his mouth. I can't take things that he says. I mean, he said something so disturbing recently that I can't get out of my head still when we were watching the news, and it was. No, you don't want me.
No,
I don't want
we
to
don't
bring up that.
Okay, well,
it's sort of major.
It's just new. Like, again, Dad's an appropriate talk about wanting to explain things about why people have sexual tendencies
towards kids.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you want me to tell you why? And I was like, no. Like, I just left the room going, what? Like, just pretend you didn't say that.
So Dad doesn't have a filter with any of that. He wants to be educating us like, hey, if you...
Well, he shouldn't know. That's the main issue. He shouldn't know. He shouldn't tell
us 5 daughters, that if you don't satisfy your husband in a marriage... Yeah, they'll go find it somewhere.
Well, I was just told all men cheat anyway, no matter what.
So it was just
doesn't matter. Yeah. So anyway, so back to Wendy. So Wendy's living there. Wendy's going to church. She's working hard. She's gone all the time, trying to stay away. Not drinking, sober.
So the same scenario. Lindsay and Grandma.
Lindsay and Grandma are talking about church, and Lindsay's part of the church and into it. It's not like Mom's selling it to her.
Right.
And Dad got really agitated. He's drinking and taking his drugs, and got really upset, was being mean to Mom. When Wendy came home, she tried to get him, like, just go lay down.
Yeah, go to another room.
Down, but he wouldn't stop. And so she got, like, disciplinary with him and said, stop talking to Mom like that. Stop talking, I don't know what he was saying about. I don't know if he was saying something about Lindsay, maybe, because I know where he got me was talking about my kids. And Mama Bear, he knows.
Yeah, Mama Bear always.
So, let's see. So what had happened was she was reprimanding him. He pushes her. It becomes a physical fight. Yeah. He's got her over in a corner beating on her head. And Mom tries to even pull him back. And he even throws her against, like, the counter. So when he calls the police, she had thrown his wine out in the street, calls the police. He gets booked and taken away. He gets brought back, I guess, the next day.
Well, 24-hour holding. And this is what's different. They would just hold him in a cell for 24 hours. The next day, the judge will be like, okay, come back for a hearing or do diversion classes or anger management, domestic violence classes, whatever it is. He went through 6 months of domestic violence classes. Yeah. Which he said was helpful, but he's like, I'm not as bad as the rest of them.
Oh, please. So, he's been retelling that story. Like, I was teaching all of them. He just does it. His brain turns reality.
This week.
Okay, and then Rob, too, real quick, because his is real quick. He's going through the trial of his life, because my point is he kicks his adult children when they're at their lowest in life. So he's going through the trial of his life, and here he's fighting Rob, demanding money and demeaning him to cause a physical altercation. Yeah. Because he does. He verbally demeans us and attacks us so much, and it disturbs us that it becomes...
you lash out, too.
Yeah. And that's a problem. I'm not saying that's okay at all. But it is also what we learn. Well, it's
learned
learned from our
behavior,
mother,
yeah.
because our mother could only take so much. And she, only though there's been like a handful. Okay, all that time they were together, there's only a handful, which I even think, geez, you're superwoman.
Well, I got into the middle of mom throwing a tantrum with Dad did something to upset her, and she finally lost it. She took the pictures, family pictures off the wall, and she was throwing them.
And you were trying to stop
her. And I'm
her.
like, Mom, stop it, stop it. And then she just was like flailing her arms at me, and I was like, whoa,
Well,
Mom.
she was in a blind rage. Well, because she was lied to the psychological warfare of dealing with somebody who's lying to you incessantly and coming back and forth to you just would make anyone mental. Not okay, though. Mom should have. That's okay. So my learning experience through all this is, yes, do not put yourself around people that are going to mentally torment you. And also, and if you are going to be around them, you better be able to handle
and
whatever they're saying. So this has been my learning experience, because so what had happened with me, let's see, jump to, okay, so like that week before, he's being mean to Claire. I'm worried about Claire's health. Now I got to deal with, okay, great. Now my father is yelling at her because she didn't come in and massage his ego and say, hi, Grandpa, you know, and, so that's what he complained about. She didn't say hi to me, and she didn't thank me for the sandwich. And I'm like, she doesn't need to. And you know what? You talk so bad about them. They're not your grandkids. Don't talk about them.
Okay.
So
then that just escalated.
Yeah. So see how I get agitated. After that, to give me
okay, bring it down a couple of notches.
You have to give me the what's that called? I
don't know, but
that's from Friends. And he goes like this to lower.
Oh, Ross, lower the volume.
Ross did that too.
Lower the volume.
To Chandler, and it gets him all agitated.
You do have to
no, I do. I am very mama bear, and that was very disturbing to me, because they have not come out to visit. Like there's been one other time since I've been there. It's been almost a year.
Yeah,
and that's sad to me, but I get it. I get it. I mean, I try to stay in my room, but he'll act real desperate to have a conversation, so I'll feel bad, and I talk to him, and then it's always usually
and that's the
him
thing,
convincing me of a false story all the time.
But with you and Wendy, you guys were really chummy. As like, let's make coffee together.
No,
let's sit down. But you would give him his drinks before he even asked for them.
Right, but I didn't hang there and talk. Mom said that he and Wendy would sit in the mornings and talk every morning and hang out. I did not do that.
Oh, so you weren't that
I
chummy.
would sort of walk through. I would walk through to take Minnie out to the bathroom. I'd see he needed a drink refilled. I'd just do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm just like Mom. I'm just serving.
And plus, Dad can't really use his hands anymore.
Yeah, so I would a few times. Sit there in the morning and give him some conversation, but it usually was short, because he would go into
something
embellishing about himself or complaining about somebody, and so I was like, okay.
So then that day,
so the day of the incident, I'm in my room and I hear Mom yelling, and maybe it's her tone too, like when she gets that heightened tone, I just feel like she's just stop. And I go out there, and I think he was agitated. I knew he was agitated from a few days before, when I made the comment. We were talking about something about, he brings up the past, so I said, well, because he lived with Rob, and when Rob was in college, while he's having all these affairs on his mother. So I said, well, can you imagine your dad doing that? And that's like when you see him sort of glitch and be like, don't tell me reality, right? Like, I don't want to hear this reality. He wants to shut down the conversation.
Yeah.
Because he has no empathy towards anybody else or understanding. So he just gets mad. He's hateful and vengeful and vindictive. So let's see, I think I went back to the room, because it's all a bit traumatizing. Back to the room. He's yelling more, talking down to me and everything about me, my mothering, ragging on my kids. I go and get in his face. I said, do not talk about my kids. And he's just slamming me. So
he's sitting in his recliner. You lean over.
And I gave him a, slap across the face.
Yeah, smack on the face.
And then the other side. So it was like TV slap, right? he gets his
2 slaps. I didn't know. I thought it was just 1.
Yeah.
So slap,
one that way,
backhand,
one
and backhand.
that way. So the side of his cheek, right? When she
Okay.
goes in later and I see his cheeks up front are really red, so I don't know what he did before the cops
Well,
came.
he's always red from alcohol. Too.
Oh, they were
So the
really
cheeks.
red. I have
so
no
maybe you
doubt he
slapped
was in
him
there. Well, that's still across.
harder.
It's still on the side. It's not right here.
Okay, so then what happened after you slapped him?
So anyway, and I take his cane away from him because I'm worried he's gonna,
Just
he's telling me,
sitting
come here, and let me slap you across the face. I'm like, oh, you've beaten me up enough in life and growing up as a kid. Like, you don't need to do more, and you're the one mouthing off about my kids. I'm not doing that to you.
Do you remember ever being spanked by Dad?
I was shook. He hit me on the back one time when I was taking Jill out of the car when Jill was acting like she was being abused by him and Terry, which...
Oh, so when
that
you were
one
in
I
the
think
teenage years.
Yeah, but he shook me really bad one time where he gave me a big lip from my head hitting his fist.
Because Dad
there's a
and
lot
Mom
of
never
abuse.
disciplined us. We never were like spanked. We were never like grounded.
Well, you guys were Rob was beaten.
Well, Rob
all
was the only
time,
one
thrown
that
out of the house. So unlawfully, right? Thrown out of the house. Same with Jill. Like that's against the law. He's done that.
Kicked out of the house.
A lot of con artistry, a lot of problems. So anyway, yeah, like we were to write down all this stuff. I mean,
I'm just saying, like
things.
we weren't like harmed.
Well,
physically, just more mentally.
It was more mental. Yeah, like I was convinced, go to the chiropractor and say you're much more injured so I can get you a car.
Yeah, okay, so...
But then later doesn't get me a car and then tells me, oh, Uncle Steve gave me money to get your car. I don't know. See, it's all this kind of stuff. Anyway.
That day you slapped Dad.
I slap him, then I
says,
take him
come
the cane,
here, let me slap you.
But I don't know if Mom gave him the cane back or whatever. And he keeps going, and I get in his face more. And I had no intention of touching him again. I didn't want to do that anyway. I'm looking at it like, oh, okay, yeah, something.
Like you lost
I need to not be
you
around
lost
this.
it, and you slapped Dad.
I cannot be around this person. So he has his cane again, and he takes his cane and just whacks the side of right under my ribs, where I have a massive bruise that's still there.
And a bruise on your elbow.
And whacks my elbow, so I've been taking pictures every day because it just keeps getting worse.
It's greenish now.
Yeah, and this one was all purple. And
so then what happened? You're trying to get the cane away, but
and so you know how he pretends like his hands don't work, and he's elder abuse because I don't even talk to him or whatever. And I tried to take the cane away from him. And I am, kid you not, and I'm pretty strong. I am full body jumping back with the cane, and I can't get it out of his hand. So when he pretends to say, "Oh, I'm so elderly," and it's a total joke.
So you went to the bedroom.
So I leave.
You called 911.
Well, I didn't. Okay, so I didn't even really mean to do it. Because I know not to call the cops because.
Well, mostly
you don't know what's going to happen with them either.
And
so I don't even want to involve them. I really was wanting resources too. I'm like, I got to get out of this situation. I cannot take this anymore. I'm just traumatized over and over and over with him.
So your key was like, I need someone to help solve my problem.
Well, I was wanting resources. So I actually didn't mean to push send to 911, but I looked down and it had
already gone.
And I'm like, oh crap. And I hang up. And then they call back, and I'm crying. I'm not a crier, so I am just, I'm just in shock.
So they call back and they say that we need to come do a home visit.
Yes, I said, no, it's fine. I just need to leave. Can someone help? Because I've been begging everyone. I've been asking church people, friends, everyone. I've been sending in my resume. I can't get a job. I need to get out of there. I know I cannot be there.
Okay, so then you go out into the kitchen. You say to Mom, I just called the police.
Well, no, she was the whole time, do not call the police. Do not call the police. I'm not going to be involved. Yeah. And so when the lady is saying, well, they're already coming out, you got to, I guess I could have not let them in. I don't know. But
they do a walkthrough. They always do a walkthrough.
So I see Dad go to the bathroom, and that's when I see him come back out with his cheeks all red. And I'm out back, staying away with Minnie, because I've got Minnie too, a little dog. And I'm not thinking that they'd ever arrest me. I mean, I'm even the one that called.
So wait, so who let him in the house?
And I did.
Okay, so they came in.
I was on the phone with the lady, the 911 lady.
Gave them a statement.
Yeah, and I admit my wrongdoing. I did slap him in the face, and that's not right. And I totally.
So you didn't hear Dad's side of the story?
No, I didn't hear anything he said.
So you just wonder if Dad said he felt in danger.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he has said that so many.
Elder abuse.
He has threatened me the whole time I was there for elder abuse when we just weren't even speaking to each other.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hear his crap. He was saying it was like elder abuse from the beginning. I'm going to call the police on you. This is
for
elder.
Your arguments.
And I'm like, because I won't listen to your lies and evilness and bitterness.
Okay, so back to the story. You're in the back.
So patio. So they're like, well, we're going to arrest you. I'm like, okay. I think I was just in shock. I didn't want to ruffle any more feathers. I was just going to do
Did they say why? Told.
I don't remember.
You're in shock.
I'm in shock.
They said put your hands behind your back.
Yeah, and I just strictly did it.
So Mom said when she looked at your face, she just felt like you had horror in your eyes and face. Like, what? You're hauling me away when you think Dad should be?
Doesn't. He's the one drinking all day on drugs. He's the one who actually put major bruises on my body. Mm-hmm. He's the one verbally, mentally, psychologically abusing. So yeah, I'm completely in shock.
So you get driven to a holding station.
They take me to the Mesa holding station, which is new. I'm in that room for a couple hours. They bring you out, they fingerprint you, they put you back in holding for more hours, couple more hours. And I'm telling you, it's like a 8-inch deep metal bench with bright lights in there and nothing but a toilet. There's nothing you can there might have been a drinking fountain attached to the toilet. I don't know. But I'm just bawling in there. I'm not like bawling.
And this is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
They're just coming. Yeah, 2 to 3 maybe.
And so more people are coming into the holding
No,
cell.
there was only one other female.
Oh.
I mean, you'd hear some of the guys out there, but there was only one other woman in there with me that whole time. I think she had left before they took me. And this whole time they're telling me that I just have to go down to Florence, see the judge, and come back up. And I'm like that night.
And Florence is a 45-minute drive south in a different county.
Yeah.
And it's actually a prison.
Yeah. So here I'm
like
thinking,
you?
I'm not even...
Did they shackle
you? Didn't even find me guilty, but yes, they shackle me.
So arms,
it's
ankles,
it's
wrists, ankles.
It's handcuffs around the bottom of your ankles. I don't have any socks on, so it's cutting into my Achilles. Every time I walk, I'm like, ouch, ouch. And then that has a chain. And then they chain around your body up through. So they put handcuffs on your hands, and they put this middle piece so it's even more tight. So you even can't move like this.
Your wrists are together.
Like this.
Yeah, like 6 inches apart.
The chain goes through there and then back. So you're really sort of
locked
moving.
in.
Yeah. So we then are being transported. I'm like, okay, this is sort of like, that almost made me laugh. I was like, sort of like,
well, like, you know what they say, when you go from point A to point B, you're never going to get found. So anyone out there, you like stay in point A.
That's how it felt. I was like, who's going to kill me? The police?
So we took a rape aggression defense class years ago. Yeah. So it's like if anyone was going to attack you, you do everything you can to stay at that point or you won't be found.
Right.
Okay, so then they get you on a truck and then take you to Florence.
Yeah, and they had like 5 other guys, which good thing in both rides. So the guys back there were quiet. Like I don't think I was worried about it. I think he'd be spitting at me or yelling at me or saying stuff to me what's going to make me ballistic.
Yeah.
Like good thing.
I thought,
they were so quiet back there and I'm in my own separate little container to keep me separate from them.
So when Mom and Dad had like on the family feed or whatever texting me and telling me what happened, I was like, what? And I think Wendy had called. I was like, what? So all night I hardly slept thinking,
Oh, Afton.
Where's Mitzi? Where's Mitzi? What is she doing? What's going on right now? So the next morning at 7 a.m., I'm like, can I pick up my sister yet? Like, call back in 2 hours. 10 o'clock. Can I pick up my sister? Call back at noon. So I was just so worried for you. I was just like, what's happening?
Well, thank you, because I have no idea. Like, I don't even know if anyone knows. I don't know if Dad's pinned everyone against me because that's how he grew up. Like, I really didn't know if anybody was going to be there.
Hence, this is why we're doing this podcast, is because you really haven't talked to very many people about it, and you're just telling your side of the story.
Yeah.
But also, so in the Florence prison, you had to stay the night.
Yeah. So we get there, and they unshackle us. I have to change. I have to be. There's somebody in there, it's real butch looking. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl. And so they're with me while I'm changing. You have to turn and squat. I just was glad they didn't do touch me.
No touching.
Yeah,
just seeing if
because I don't know what I would have done too.
If you were smuggling anything inside.
Right.
So
which is hilarious because I'm like,
you stayed in your own clothes.
Oh no, they had us change into the prison.
So you were in a prison uniform? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this part.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so then you take a mattress into your cell.
No, hold on. They put us back into a holding cell where a bunch of men just had to go in and pee. Like 30, and I'm like, you're putting us back in there when 30 men just went in there to pee and the toilet's just open. And they're claiming they don't have a bed. So from about, 3 o'clock from picking me up to 2 in the morning, I'm in holding till I get a bed. So good thing is I had some funny...
What was even the point?
Like
you could have stayed in Mesa.
Oh, I know.
In the holding cell.
Apparently, no, but they just said they didn't have anything there. They said they don't have, beds there. Like, they just have regular holding.
Well, why would you need a bed, though? That's what I'm saying. Because normally in Mesa, people just are held in the cell, and you just lean against the wall, and it's like you're on a plane, and you're just not sleeping. Well, you just don't sleep.
I don't know. That's worse. In that bright light with no blankets, nothing. That would be even worse. To be up all night.
Okay,
and
so
nothing.
2 a.m.
Because you don't have your phone. You don't have the TV. There's nothing.
Oh, okay. So 2 a.m. You get your mattress.
Let me tell you real quick. In this other holding area where all these men had to go pee, and I got yelled at by a lady because I was like, "We had to go back in," because I, of course, being a little snarky. Like, we're gonna go back in there, and I'm trying to be like, "Mitzi, shut up. Mitzi, shut up."
Mitzi, shut up.
Good thing I was in with 3 other women that, at least they were telling me their stories and I could talk to them. And there's a huge difference. That's something I learned. Like, to be in a holding by yourself is way different than having anybody in there to, unless they're going to start beating on you too. But they were nice women and they were able to fall. They were on a bench that was a little bit deeper. Mm-hmm. And so they were all sleeping, and I'm just walking around in there like, I can't sleep. There's somebody over here obnoxiously laughing the whole time. So I found some headphones in my little bag they gave us. Like, they give us a bag that has a blanket in it, like a sheet, extra socks, some toilet paper, your toothbrush, and a little water cup and a little spoon thing or whatever. So they're all putting their blankets in this area that's absolutely disgusting. And I'm thinking, well, we got to be getting our beds soon. I don't want to get all my blankets out here.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they wait until I wander around and I finally lay down on this bench that's about 8 inches deep. So you can't actually lay. So I just have my feet on the ground. I have my feet on the ground. And I just lay my head on my blanket, and then they come in. Then we are taken to our cells, and where they lock you, there's a common area, but they still lock you in your cell, like you're behind a steel door. And yes, you have to grab your own mattress and you take it. So positive was I had my own cell. Because the toilet's right there. I mean, you got to deal with, if anyone else has to go to the bathroom, you got to be dealing with.
So you're by yourself in your cell. You had your mattress.
So I had 2 hours sleep.
2 hours.
Because they locked us in, and there's still a light on in there too. So I had a pillowcase that I was able just to drape over my eyes and sleep for maybe an hour or two. Then I go get breakfast. And this whole time I haven't eaten because they give you bologna sandwiches that look like they'll kill you. if you eat them. So I'd rather not. There was one granola bar I had at 3.
Okay.
And then I didn't eat anything else. I mean, they had
So they
no
get
fruit.
you up at like 5 or 6, have breakfast.
And I'm dehydrated. Yeah, it was like 4:30, I think, when they brought breakfast in. It was really early. So I sort of befriended this lady that was out there and all peppy. You know, she's from Chicago, and she had this big scar on her forehead. Looked like, oh gosh, this lady's been through some stuff. You know, so respect.
So you
too.
you had some breakfast with a lady.
Yeah, well, I didn't eat it. Everything I got, I gave to her because I was like, hey, do you want this? Because I didn't, I wasn't going to eat it. She always took it. The breakfast was it was all white.
You don't even know what was in it? It's just white.
I mean, there's
white
a tiny
eggs.
little turkey thing that was rubbery.
Yeah.
That I tried to take a bite. The potatoes weren't so bad because it had some seasoning on it. There was some cream of wheat.
Oh, okay.
And then some other square thing that I think I took a bite. It was completely tasteless.
Like a toast or a pancake or something like bready?
It looked like it might have been like a cornbread, but not cornbread at all. I don't know what it was. So I didn't eat anything. She goes, let's go for a walk. We have time to go a wreck. We're allowed to go out and walk around the little wreck.
And you're afraid to go anywhere with anyone. So you walked with this lady?
You know what? I needed to talk to people though. I need to be like, what should I do? I was asking everybody, even 3 women. I was scared. I'm like, I got to talk to the judge. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't want to incriminate myself.
Right.
I don't want to do all this stuff.
And weren't they saying it's just best not to say anything?
Yes.
Now's not the time to say anything.
Do not fight really anything. There's time later for that. So, and she said they don't care. And
that was good
she
advice.
Was telling me all this stuff.
You don't want to sound like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And then they put you in some other place.
Oh, they'll beat you down if you make it difficult for them. If you even question anything, like when I said, like, all these men are going pee in there, and then we got to go in there and breathe that in this trapped room. And
this is why defund police,
yelled.
I think, has come around, because you do watch some of
it's diabolical. It is inhumane
the way they do throw people down. Yeah.
They're not helpful at all. I mean, sure, hardened murderers and
you do have the real criminals out there.
But they're treating people that aren't even the victims. Like, I'm really the victim here. I don't really understand.
You felt like
abuse.
It was guilty before proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Instead
of
innocent
you're just treated like total low. And my back is killing me because these hard benches. And I'm like, oh my word, my back is
and they're not even next to the wall, or you can't even lean on the wall, right? You're just...
Well, it is next to the wall, but you're so upright, you can't lean. There's no leaning back, too. So it was a lot of leaning forward. Or I walked around a lot.
Oh, that's good. So
and stretched. So but that's hours. So 3 to 2 o'clock in the mornings, all holding. Either handcuffs, in holding. So we go on this walk in this rec area that's just gravel. But there were a couple of sweet women. So it's funny, because you either get a couple really sweet people that are nice, or you get like people that are like, oh, I'm going to make your life a living hell for my enjoyment. So it's like freaky. And so, I try to be helpful, and I'm moving hey, do you need this ice cooler moved? And just try to be good and do what you're supposed to be doing. So we walked out there for a bit, and she's given me info about, they just want to pit people in here to make money. Like, they don't even care, all this kind of stuff. So we go back into our cells for a bit. And the whole time I'm like, when's my
your hearing arraignment?
Yeah, when's my
arraignment
hearing?
With the judge?
When I see my hearing, I'm asking them, are you guys going to call me? Do I need to come down here? Like, I don't want to miss it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, not knowing.
Right.
Oh, I don't want to be told, you missed it. You're going to have to be here another week.
My friend Sandy works for a court here in Mesa, but she could not see the city court. She's like, federal court, or I don't know, state court. Or no, she's county. Sorry, she's county court. So I said, can you look this up? Can you look up when her hearing is? And it was 7 a.m. It said.
Oh, so it was 8:30 for me.
Or maybe it said 8:30. No, that's when I started calling 7. So 8:30.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, it has to be soon.
Yeah.
After 8:30, I thought, okay, I could pick you up sometime soon after that.
Well, and I'm sitting in there with like 15 other people, and of course I'm last again. Like it was a little comical that I was like last.
Oh, because you're
in every situation.
So when I looked at the inmate list, it just kept growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these people. Like we're talking like 100 people.
Well, because they bring ICE people in there too, so that's why.
You being a Y. For your kids,
I guess so.
You're way down on the bottom of the list.
I guess they go that way, huh?
So you didn't have your arraignment until what time, you think? Like
so
an
it was,
hour
well,
later?
let's see, we were all in there at 8:30, but I'm going through everybody's, which was interesting. I actually appreciated watching everybody's because I was like, okay, seeing how it just functions. I mean, when you don't know how things function.
And how were people
you don't know how to
arraigned in there? They're like,
so there's so we're all just sitting there, and there's a big TV with the judge on there.
oh, so
and
it's
he's
not
talking.
even live.
Well, it's like
web.
there was like two different scenarios because he was dealing with another holding center or whatever. They weren't in. They hadn't switched. They were in street clothes, and they were coming in and talking to the judge. But I think that was, I don't know if he said it was Northeast, Northwest. I don't know.
So you're watching that on the TV.
That too, and ours, like when we're up against the TV, we're talking to the judge.
Yeah,
but there's also these 3 pods in the room that we are allowed to go in individually and talk to our lawyer. So I was given public defender. I go in there and talk to him for 2 seconds. I try to ask him a couple of questions. He's just sort of like, no, doesn't matter.
No,
doesn't matter. You don't know. Should I bring this up? No, it's not going to matter today. You can bring it up later.
Yeah, in a month.
Yeah.
Later.
So I'm like, okay. So I, after that, then I'm still waiting there to talk to the judge. So, and I was grateful for this too, where I guess in some of these situations, the judge pleads for you. Like the judge says, I'm going to plead not guilty for you.
Oh, good.
So some of us were like that. I mean, some guys were in there for accidentally walking out of Home Depot with one of their shopping tote bags by accident. Like as though he didn't mean to take it. He was just distracted. And I'm like, this can't be real. This can't be real that this guy
You're
is
like,
booked.
okay, who's punking me?
Oh, totally.
Where's Ashton Kutcher?
There's a couple of times where I'm like, I'm being punked. But then it really got to me. So
you stand up in front of the judge.
I'm afraid again, and then he's saying yes, I could be released.
Okay.
No bond, which is great.
Yeah.
And that my hearing will be in a month, April 23rd.
Okay.
So I'm just grateful. I'm like, okay, good, happy, grateful, praying. Thank goodness I could leave. So
you're done there. But I'm calling.
But hold on. I'm still having to go back to my... So, like, when they tell you you're released, and you got to go back to your cell for, like...
And they shackle
5
you
more
from this
It's like
place to
5
that?
more hours. And I'm just like, okay, are you guys going to come get me? Like, when... Because there was supposed to be, like, a transport leaving, like, that... at that time, pretty much.
So let me tell you, when I called, they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, her arraignment's done. She should be transported around noon. You can come get her at 3. So I call around 3, and I'm like, okay, well, they're like, oh, she didn't make the afternoon bus. So it's going to be, the earlier bus. She's going to have to be on the evening bus. So see, you're like waiting for this bus.
Yeah.
And they probably had like 3 or 4 buses or whatever, busing you back.
I remember when you woke me, or when you picked me up, was it like 8 p.m.?
It was 7:30 when you called me.
Okay, so...
And you said, hey, Afton, I'm at this holding cell off Power Road, this new Power and Brown one. They told me on the phone, though, just 30 minutes prior, oh, your sister won't be back until 10 p.m. or 11. They're going to be on the west side. You pick her up at 1:30 Robeson. And I'm like, what? I have to go to the west side. I didn't even think, though, that you were sitting here off Power Road until I listened to the message again.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Sean, let's go to this one on Power. But I went, and there's no doors open. Nobody's there. 1 car's in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I called the number again. I said, hey, I'm picking up my sister. She said she's waiting for me. And they're like, oh, let me see. And they're like, oh, yeah, she's here. We'll send her out. We'll escort her out. Okay,
so this is where I lose it. Right before you, too. So when I'm going into the last holding, my original holding cell from this whole ordeal.
Now.
Yeah. I'm like, well, how long do I have to stay in here now? Because I'm thinking, I've been released since, what, noon?
9, yeah. Well,
And it's 8 o'clock, and you people are holding me, and I'm about ready to be like, can I just run out of this place?
yeah, because when the judge releases you.
Yeah, and I'm like, why am I still here? Like, can't I just walk out of here? But I'm in Florence, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I better just follow the rules.
I would have driven to Florence to pick
Well,
you
I
up.
almost was like,
Can I call?
can I get out of here? Because they shackle me again. And they leave me in holding in shackles, which is painful.
After your hearing.
And then you're in shackles in this stupid car. And they're just, every single thing they're doing is taking like 5 hours to do. You're stuck in the van for like an hour.
It's like
I'm not ready to start banging my head. Like, they literally make people ill.
So then when you're in that
They do.
last holding,
So
you called me. I don't know
call
why
you.
I missed my phone, but.
Well, yeah, no, I could never get through to anybody. So I'm like, I just hoping they're getting this message. Like, I had called Ethan to go pick up Minnie when I first got there the day before. And I have no idea if anyone's getting my messages. I don't know what's, I'm like, am I just gonna, I was fine just walking to your house.
Yeah.
Because I'm not allowed to go back to where Stan and Eleanor live.
So yeah, on your
for the whole
paper,
month.
did the judge say that right there to you?
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not
allowed
allowed
to go back
at
to
that
property.
address.
Probably because he told him it was his property when it's yours.
But you're also not allowed to communicate with him through
even
email,
through a third
text, or even
party,
a third
which
party.
I'm completely fine because he's out of my life forever.
Okay.
Absolute, it's absolute.
So-
So the last 15 minutes that I'm in there, and I'm even looking at the camera, and I'm like, this is so inhumane and diabolical. You people should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm just bawling to the point of my lips quivering and just shaking because I'm thinking, I have no idea how many hours they're going to have me in here. And I'm exhausted, and I haven't eaten for
Dehydrated.
24 hours and barely any water. And so 15 minutes later, looks like your sister's out in the parking lot. And I'm just like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Here we are
So
walking to each other
she
in this
walks.
empty parking lot.
Yes, I see Afton, and I just fall into her arms and just bawl like I've never cried before.
I know, and I
Were you
was like,
surprised?
I put my hand on top of your head, and I said, Mitzi, you're safe now. You're safe now. Because I just thought,
I
this
love
has
you,
been
Auntie.
a horrible, 30 hours?
Oh, just traumatizing.
Yeah.
So I have got to learn now to completely change my life and mindset, and I've got to work on not getting agitated like that, and not be around it, because I don't want to be around that kind of agitation.
Well, to the point where you lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so our brother gave you good advice to say, get a good book, read,
Yeah.
lose yourself in positive things, read a good book, go, be in the sunshine, go for walks, just clear your head.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing now is we're we're going to be in a positive mindset.
Yeah.
We're going to clear out my office. You're going to just move in there and just kind of take it day by day. But
And
we
let's
got
get back to having let's have some funny podcasts where we're enjoying life.
Yes.
And
you got to laugh
deal
at
with
life
mental stuff. Yeah.
But I also went to this Calming the Storm workshop with a friend of mine who's a life coach. And it's like these storms that brew inside of us, and we don't know how to control, whether it's stress, anxiety, or some other disorder that throws us into these rages.
Yeah.
But we've got to find spiritual grounding, right? Communicate with God, have social gatherings with positive people.
Yeah.
Diet, exercise, food, vitamin supplements, and really just do that mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
So that you feel centered, so that if anything comes up, with the tools to say, I got to walk away from this.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to associate with these negative people. Or this person triggers me to feel a certain way. And we do have a whole childhood cabinet of
we have to unpack
things that you unpack that say, you know what, I did live that. I'm a survivor of that. And I'm going to move forward in a positive direction.
Right.
So we don't have to always be shackled
Yeah.
by the past.
Right.
We can release ourselves with a positive outlook and attitude.
Well, and life's not perfect. I mean, even you and I often get in little tiffs and stuff. But I mean,
but our educated part of it is we can sit and unpack,
right,
and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made you feel triggered by that comment."
Yeah.
Or okay, explain to me what that did to your inside, like storm, and how I word it. And yeah, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, but we do acknowledge and go, well, okay, I'm not sure,
if
it's hard to change. We're in our 50s, and if we've had this pattern of toxic behaviors that we just think is normal,
right,
and other people around you are like, wait, that's not normal, don't talk that way, you don't need to say this, or you don't need to act this way, and so then you're learning from other people.
Right.
The good thing is we're humble to say, oh,
we want to be better.
We do. We always want to be better.
Yeah.
And we don't ever want to end up in the prison system because we lost control. Right.
So it was good. I mean, I didn't like going through that. I don't think I should have have to go through it, but hey, I'm going to take it and learn from it. Learn what I can handle, what I can't handle, and move forward and just have better.
I would say it was horrific, but also to look at it like you never would understand it unless you went through it yourself.
Well, and so sad for other people. I'm so sad for other people that actually are in there people are in there for months. Yeah. I mean, I think too, it's the way you're calm. If you're calm and you're civilized, like you said, you're talking to yourself like, don't lose it, here, just be cool. Right. But other people don't, and they would maybe cause more problems for themselves. Yeah.
So what a learning experience.
Yeah. Definitely. You don't want to go to prison, people. Yeah. No matter what, you get yourself out of situations so you don't have to deal with that. Have control of yourself.
And in life, try to release the shackles that hold you back.
Yeah.
Whether it's childhood memories, trauma, you have emotional trauma, physical trauma, and try to get the help that's needed. And never
before it becomes a problem.
Oh yeah, before it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Just the hard thing is a lot of times you don't even know. You don't even know you're that upset. You don't even know you're that volatile. Mm-hmm. So that's true. The scary part.
And that's part of life is just getting to know ourselves.
Yeah.
Getting to know ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, and then actually saying, okay, I just rely on myself now.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's our tidbit of nuggets.
I love you, Afton. Thank you for being
there. I love you
there.
too, Mitzi. I will always be here for my sisters.
All right.
All right. Thanks for hanging out in the middle of everything where we stir the pot from both sides.
Toodles.